Good evening and welcome. I'm Sheila Balgobin, and I am, excuse me, I am the Dream Decipherer, and I help you to crack the code of your sleep and dreams so you can sleep sound and dream deep. This evening, I have a little dream, a very short dream, but as I always say, dreams are very compact. They manage to pack a lot of information in a short space. So we'll see what exactly this dream is talking about. The dreamer reports that they had an appointment somewhere, but they were inappropriately dressed. And the dreamer had to change their clothes in the street, in the middle of the street, and reports that initially was feeling a bit shy about it, but as he got into changing his clothes, he started to become unconcerned. And that's the dream. That's the whole dream. So let's see what's going on with this dream and what it's trying to say. Uh, my first question here was, what was this appointment was with whom? What was the occasion? And my question to the dreamer here was, if you knew what the appointment was for ahead of time, why weren't you dressed properly in the first place? And were you overdressed for the occasion, underdressed? Or, as we found out, no dress at all because he had to change his clothes. But there's just something about this inappropriateness or not fitting in with the occasion, whatever the occasion was. Now, moving from that into changing in the street, I mean, this image comes up where somebody is actually changing their clothes literally in the middle of the sidewalk or in the middle of the street. And my first question here for the dream is, well, why change clothes in the street? Surely there was a department store or something nearby that had changing rooms where they could have actually changed their clothes. Um, the thought that came to me about this was like, get naked and party. That's like back from my uni days. But um, it's just, there's just a lack of a logic there almost. It's like, well, why couldn't you have gone someplace more private to change? Um, but I'll come back to that in a minute. Um, my question here for the dreamer, though, is the dreamer in waking life going through some kind of transformation that is visible to other people? How is it showing up in your waking life? Is it in public somehow where people can see these changes are happening? How does that feel to the dreamer? Is it, it apparently from the dream, it seems like it may have been a little bit uncomfortable exposing themselves. But as they got into it and got involved with changing their clothes, um, he became more comfortable. Now, there's something about that, but I'll come back to that in a minute. There's the dreamer reports feeling at first feeling a bit shy about getting naked or changing clothes in public, but as time went on, became more comfortable with it. Now, my question here for the dreamer is, whether is this embarrassment at this change, whatever change is occurring in the dreamer's life, becoming more and more comfortable as they get more into this change? Uh, so, what exactly is changing for the dreamer, and what is making it the process more comfortable as time goes on? There's something about clothing here. Clothing, of course, keeps us from walking around with no naked, but it can also serve as a cover, a mask of some kind. And I wonder here if the clothing or change of clothing is representative in some way of um, removing masks in some way in the dreamer's life? Is there a mask that the dreamer is wearing in their waking life that could is in the process of being removed, or at least being changed in some way? If you, like I said, look at clothing as, a mask for our bodies, but it could be a metaphor for a mask of a way of being or attitude, or some thought pattern that the dreamer may have, which is changing. And I my question here is whether this change is something that's actually desirable. It seems to be, since the dreamer is becoming more comfortable with this change. But what is this change? Is the dreamer even aware that this change is going on? And if they are, how is their life going to be different now that they're dressed for the occasion, whatever that occasion may be? And I'm really curious to find out who this appointment was with, that the dreamer wasn't appropriately dressed for. It makes me tend to think that there's something about relationships here, and maybe wearing a mask of, or adopting a particular persona in a relationship of some kind, and eventually becoming more comfortable with that shift in the relationship somehow. So there you have it. Like I said, it's a little dream, but it throws up quite a number of questions. I still want to know why the dreamer felt that it was necessary to change in public. But maybe that indicates an opening up for the dreamer, becoming more open, and more honest in some way with regard to a state of mind or a relationship or something else. I'll have to wait till I hear the feedback from the dreamer to find out. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Have a great evening and rest of the week, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.